It's Stick 30. I'm Kenneth Leaner, your bushcraft preacher, and this is Free Kicks Outside. It's time for an adventure. All right, I want to talk to you about Dave Kenneberry's 5 C's, or at least the 5 C's anyway. There is 10 of them, but we're just going to worry about 5. These are things you want to have while you're in the woods. I mean, no matter when you go out or what you're doing. A lot of people just, oh, I'm going to carry me a canteen of water and I'm good to go. No. You absolutely want to have some form of shelter. This Posh Pilot Kit, it will fold up. It's real nice. Fold down pretty small. Stick it in a little rucksack or a little backpack. And it pretty much weighs nothing. I mean, honestly. You want to have a cutting tool. That's very important. I always have redundancies. Of course, I got my knife, got my other knives. I'll probably put in a nice little video of everything I got here. In just a second, you want your combustion tool, lighter, matches, ferrocerium rod. You want to make sure you got a way to make fire. It doesn't matter if you're using flint and steel, as long as you got a way to make fire. Container, of course. You want to have water. You want to have a way to cook. You want it to be stainless steel or aluminum. You want something that's not going to just burn up. You know, if you keep it out in plastic, well, plastic can be toxic if you have to boil water in it, but I suggest not doing that if you can avoid it at any and all cost. So invest in some metal container to use as water. Of course, the cover I've already talked about with the Posh Pilot Kit. And cordage. I mean, that's one of the main things you got to have. Now, if you got tape with you, you can use that as cordage, but cordage is cordage. I like to use natural cordage, so keep that in mind. A cotton or a jute twine, or some natural fiber ropes, because it does make a fire easier. And usually you can coat them with oil or petroleum jelly or even wax, just to give you a little bit extra oomph to your fire. Those are the 5 C's we want to have with us. Is that the other 5 C's are, of course, a candling device, which is some sort of lamp, which I do have one of them with me just in case. Cargo tape, which I already have that with me, because if I'm going off the trail and I'm not familiar with it, I want a way to mark the trail. So I'll tear off a piece of tape, put it on a limb or a branch, and keep walking until I get where I can barely see it, and I'll put another one up there. It don't have to be very big. It's just if something happens, at least somebody go, hey, well, there's tape. There's tape down there, and there's tape down there, and it's bright orange. So, yeah, I'm going to follow that way. So it's good to have. You want a cotton cloth of some sort. Well, I have a cotton shirt on. I have another shirt underneath that, and I have my coat. So I got that pretty well covered. Cargo repair needle. Well, I got that in my miniature survival kit, which I added to that to make it what it is. And a compass. Well, I know where I'm at. I've been to this area 100 million times, so I'm not going to bring a compass with me. So I'm real, I know how to tell where I'm at without having an actual compass in my hand. So that's something for a different day. But those are the total 10 C's, but the 5 is what you need to worry about. Got a hunting vest for standing out, of course. Otherwise, that's what that's for. Got my gun, 22 caliber. This here has most of the stuff I need for the 5 C's. Got some old cordage, which goes with my Posh Pilot Kit, which I'll show you that in a minute. One thing that's usually overlooked in the tape world is that you see people with tape. It's usually black or camouflaged when they're out in the woods. I like using orange because if it's an emergency, you can see this. It also helps when you tear off little strips. You can stick them on trees. I'll show you that later thing. But with the 5 C's, you're talking about shelter. Of course, it's going to be the Posh Pilot Kit right there. You want to have cutting implements, and I have a redundancy of it. I have one here, which is a multi-purpose tool. I have the one here, of course. Back over here, on the back of that, there's another little knife just to be for fun. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, but Yeah, I mean, it ain't really much, just to give you a comparison to it. It ain't much of a knife, but it will do the job if you need to skin up something, fish, squirrel, whatever the heck you are. It will process some wood, but nothing major. You can make feather sticks with it, but in this med kit, which I'll pop that open real quick and just show you. Maybe. All right. Pretty cool, huh? All right. I already covered the shelter, the knives, and here is a little bit of extra stuff I have. The survival card things in there I threw in there. Got band-aids, of course, and well, with your band-aids out of the way, matches. So that covers the fire. But I'm a man of redundancy. There's also a little plastic container in there. A little plastic bag. I don't know if you can see that very well right there. It's thrown in there. This itself is also a container, so I'm not too worried about that. It's got a little sewing kit. I'll put the rubber band back on in a minute. I'm a man of redundancies, and I have it in here somewhere. Oh yeah, that's right. In here. Doom. Ferrocerium rod. It's also orange, so you can see it. You know, don't just drop it. This here is a Polish bread bag. At least a replica of it. I just have little odds and ends in there. I had some napkins, 22 caliber ammunition, 12 gauge shotgun shells right there. On the other side, I got some snacky foods. You know, num-nums. And I got a sharpening rod in here, along with a light, and of course, you never know, a little toilet paper in there. But on with the rest of the compatibility. So we've covered the shelter, the cutting tool, the cordage, it's 3, the fire, which is another redundancy fire, the container. Now these military style canteens are awesome to have. It's got a cooking pot, you got your canteen, of course, you got your little bag there. I mean, I always like to bring some gloves with me just in case things. This pretty much covers everything you need to have to be able to survive. On a bare minimum, you want the 5. And the 5, in order, according to Dave Canterbury, are a cutting tool, knives, of course, got that on there. Combustion, matches, and a ferrocerium rod. I got that pretty well covered. A container, well, I got that covered with the canteen and cup set up. Also, the first aid kit is also double-sized container with another little Ziploc baggie in that container. Cover, well, that's the Posh Pilot Kit, which I'll pull it out and fold it out for you in a second. And cordage, well, I got that covered right there. So that's the main 5 you want to have. You know, but I threw in, of course, another one which is also on the list, and that is the tape, which is, you want some cargo tape. I like using orange because you can see orange in the middle of a big green brown forest. Well, green, on the other hand, kind of just blends into the surroundings. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Just to put that in perspective. So, let me set up and I'll show you how the Posh Pilot Kit looks. Alright, the Posh Pilot Kit. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. It is a piece of Soviet gear. It's a poncho, shelter. It's about 101 other things that are, the things are just pretty much endless for this. By my understanding and what I can find, it has been in use since 1780, and it's just advanced from there. So one way or another, this has been used throughout history. But this sucker is pretty dang awesome. Now I'm gonna open this sucker up. I mean, yeah, pretty good size. On it, most of these have wooden toggles. Talk today. And I got stakeout grommets, which is on this one's brass. I have another one's leather as well. You slide one of those into the middle block grommet in the back. And that. Presto. Makes that do that. Take these, put them together, and quit little jerks down. I'll adjust that from there. Flip her on over. Give it a quick old bow shoestring knot, whatever the heck you want to call it.
Make myself a nice little bow tie. Yay. Now we look pretties.
That. Alright. Adjust this little bit. Now, got that all in place. This is how you get the rain hood up. Flips over. You tuck it in behind. There. And there's two little other strings here. Just right next to the ones you already tied. And what you do is you just do a little cinch it up a little bit. And before you tie it, you want to make sure you can adjust it how you need it. I mean, because once you get it on there, that'll work. Let's go ahead and tie this puppy up to a little quick bow. And ditto. Done. Now with this you can make a plow point, of course. You can make a ridge line with it, lean-tos, pretty much anything you want. I'll probably put a picture in right about now. And that's pretty much what's done. That's what I found so far on those, just those few pictures of it. And I'm trying to find actual owner's manual on one of these so I can find out everything that's done with it. By my understanding, you can even make like a little raft or a canoe out of this thing as well. So I don't know. Well, it's kind of cool. You got a little hole here, but there's not one over here. Now people might think that's kind of dumb, but if you button these up just right, leave it here, you have a hole here, so you can do that. But also, it was designed when you are on duty and it is raining, you can cover your gun like this and still be able to pull it out and fire as you need to. So protecting your gun and keeping it dry. Kind of the reason I did buy this is for that particular purpose, because if I hunt with muzzle loaders, I can keep them a little bit drier. So, and yes, you can hunt with a muzzle loader in the rain if you know what you're doing. Well, that was just the 5 C's I wanted to get out today, and that's what you want to have on you when you are out and going to go do something. You want to have at least the 5 C's. I mean, the tape is an optional thing, but the most important thing is having the 5 C's. At least you'll be able to survive if something happens. You fall, trip, break your leg, shoot yourself in the freaking foot. Who knows? Anything could happen. Or worse yet, somebody shoots you, which really would suck. Because there is places out there where you cannot get phone reception, you're not going to be able to make calls or text or any of that stuff. And that's what people need to think about when they're out in the woods. As long as you can keep at least the 5 survivable tools that you need to keep yourself alive, you'll do a whole lot better. Well, I'm Kenneth Leaner, your bushcraft teacher, and this has been Free Kicks Outside, where it's always stick 30 and it's always time to get outside. Get outside, but be safe doing it. It is hunting season, you know. There we go.